past month has been one of the busiest we've had here in a long time, made even more so by the shorter days. But I've grown to love this time of year here. There's a soft and exciting beauty to the land, marked by the all-day sunrise and sunset, and the waters knocking at my door. It's during these brief days when I have to remind myself to slow down, to fall into rhythm with the earth, and focus on rest in order to begin anew in the spring. But that time is still a long way away, and there are still many months of winter ahead. Though they're now made easier with the addition of a wood stove, and all the more exciting and busy as my family has now grown. Have you noticed our wonderful new addition? Last week, a couple family members made the trek out here to help put in this wonderful wood stove and do a few other things around the house. This has been the first week all winter, and honestly the past 2 winters, that I have been able to be in the house without a winter coat on all day. It's actually really comfortable and almost kind of hot in the house for the first time ever. This house has 2 fireplaces in it. There's one in the kitchen and one here. But this house was built by my great-grandfather, and the chimney flues don't work super well. And so you can only really have a fire going in one at once, at least before the wood stove, because the flues just didn't draw super well. Also, the winter here is very windy and stormy, and we have a lot of issues with the smoke just getting pushed back into the house, especially on days where there's really low pressure outside. And so it's really been a hassle the past 2 years to keep everything warm and comfortable in here. But now we have this wood stove and it's been amazing. This puts off a lot more heat than just a fireplace does, and this room has been really uncomfortable to be in over the last couple of months, and I spent basically 0 time in this space last winter because I just couldn't get it warm enough. I usually keep the fire in the kitchen. That flue draws the best out of both of them, and also that's just where I spend a lot of my time. So that space has been moderately comfortable, but a fireplace doesn't put off the heat the same way that a wood stove does, so this has just been incredible. Not to mention, I can control the burn a little bit better, and because I only really have access to softwoods out here, or the hardwood that I have access to is really very soft for hardwood, it all burns so quick. So this has been just amazing.
Hi, buddy. And were you outdoors? Hi.
And well, somebody else has introduced himself. As you can see, we have a new addition to the family. I've been keeping my eye out the last couple of weeks, or last couple of months really, for a brother for Hazel. And I stumbled across this little boy that needed a home. We've had him for about 3 weeks now, and I haven't done a lot of filming, and I've been having a really hard time keeping him secret from everybody, but I wanted to spend time just letting him get settled and acquainted with the home before filming him. And this is not the most comfortable thing for a puppy, but I have some shots of him and I will go show you him in a little bit. But he is the sweetest boy, and Hazel and him have been getting along so wonderfully. She is ecstatic to have a buddy, and it's been so wonderful. His name is Grimm, after the fairy tales, and he is a white German Shepherd, so very handsome boy. I look forward to seeing him all grown up. Right now he kind of looks like a cotton ball with funny ears. His ears went up, both of them, this morning. He's had one up, so he's kind of been looking a little goofy for the last couple of weeks. But the other one just started popping up today, or last night really, but it's been pretty sturdy today. It tips over at the top a little bit still, but they'll be up in no time. And I love this phase in these dogs. Their ears get too big for their heads and they just look all funny and cute. So I'm very much looking forward to watching him grow up. And it's been really exciting and wonderful just getting to watch or see the world through a puppy's eyes. They see things so beautifully and exciting, and they're just so curious. You know, the world is new to them, entirely new, and there's just so much to explore and everything is fascinating, and it feels good to observe the world that way again. So I think that's about it for updates. I filmed ahead of it and took a break with my family here and after getting him, and it's been nice to kind of have that cool down with filming, but I'm looking forward to getting back to it. I do think I'm going to keep a little bit of a every other week schedule here for these videos for the time being until he's a little bit bigger, just because right now he's a lot of work. He's still a very young boy and he needs to be outside all the time, and so I want to put more of my focus there, but hopefully in time I'll be back to every week here. But anyways, let's go see him, shall we?
Hi, mister. What do you think, huh? It's a pretty day out there. Yeah? How about you? Oh, just got a toy, huh? I see.
As you probably know by now, I'm an herbalist by trade. I grew my knowledge slowly, learning from the land and the locals around me. So here I have some elderberries, a bit of ginger, clove, and cinnamon. And I plan on making some elderberry syrup. I've spent an unimaginable number of hours immersed in the medicinal world of herbs, digging into every bit of information and folklore I could get my hands on. Over the years, I've grown to love those that I can find just outside my front door, namely the weeds or those rarely noticed. But as it's winter now, my practice has gone a bit dormant. Most plants around me are now asleep, and for the few that are still awake, I've nearly exhausted their uses. So it's now when I reach back into my cupboards and work with those that I tried earlier in the season, or bought at market. And though this is no longer my preferred way of working, many of these crafts have become tradition for me. And they bring a bit of brightness to these darker days. Besides, I found that my practice and my heart works best when I follow the seasons, and the winter months remind me to slow down, and having these limitations allows me to do so. Now just to let this cook down a bit. morning. It's still quite a while until the sun comes up, but I've been getting up early with the puppy and have decided that in this odd time between night and morning to just start a paper cut. And I haven't done one of these in over a year now. Before YouTube and all of this stuff, my income was kind of based between herbalism and art and some other odd jobs, but art was a big component of it. And there is a whole story to all of that. My life could have panned out so differently had I continued down that track. And it's an interesting one to get into, but I think I will probably talk about that another time. And I've shown my paper cuts here before, I think once before maybe, but a big part of creating this channel, I wanted to share more of my art. But when I got to the place where I could finally start sharing my art, I got my first puppy, who is sitting under the table I'm working on right now, and she was a little bit too naughty for me to work on these projects because they're very delicate. But I've kind of just decided to say, screw it, let's just enjoy it and see what I can create. And even though I have another little crazy puppy running around, Hazel does a good job of occupying him, and it helps a lot. And so I am able to work on these more delicate pieces again, and it just feels really good to be back to this. I've always been someone who prefers to work on really large pieces, and this is nothing compared to what I've done before. I've shared them in a past video. I will tag that down below if you want to see them, but I figured this is a little bit more of a digestible side, and if I can actually finish this piece without any hitches, I am hoping to maybe make this another income stream again. So let me know what you think about that. I won't be finishing this video or this piece in this video. I actually need to get this video out to you today, so I need to sit down and edit this up, but I have some time. But I just wanted to share it a little bit and show you a little bit more of what I've been working on. I'm hoping to get this piece done by the next video. I think I'll be able to get it done within this week, and I'll be sure to share it in full then. But I'm excited. I'm trying some new things with it that I've never done before, and I am really happy with it. These past handful of weeks have just been filled with so many new things. I don't think I've actually sat down to film in about 4 weeks. I was filmed pretty far ahead here. I filmed for my other channel a little bit, but I haven't sat down to do one of these in a while, and it feels good to be back, and I feel like so much has changed in such a short amount of time, and I just feel excited for what's to come. There are a lot of big changes ahead in the next year, and I don't know why I keep picking up projects in the midst of all of that, but I like to stay busy. I have a lot of plans and exciting things that I'm hoping to work on in so many different areas. I have a handful of projects that are secret that I will hopefully get to tell you soon, and I just am really looking forward to all that is to come.